Let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 14. It says, "Follow after charity and desire spiritual gifts, but rather that ye may prophesy. For he that speaketh in an unknown tongue speaks not unto men, but unto God. For no man understandeth him, howbeit in the Spirit he speaketh mysteries." Now, this is how I understand that passage. I feel like, well, when I say I feel like, that's funny, but in the Spirit he speaketh mysteries. And I ask myself, are there other things being spoken in the Spirit? Are people speaking different things in the Spirit and they have no idea? Now, we know from the Bible that when you speak in tongues, in the Spirit, you're speaking mysteries and you're speaking unto God. The question I'm asking is, are people speaking other things when they are not speaking in tongues in the Spirit? Think about it. The Spirit controls the physical. And I feel like sometimes people are not aware of what they are saying in the Spirit because they are just focused on what is happening in the physical. Now, I've said this like 3-4 times, and you're wondering, okay, so what are you saying? People sometimes might be in the Spirit speaking fear. They might be speaking doubt. They might be speaking inadequacy. Things like that. In the Spirit. But in the physical, what? They think they are just making a joke. They think they are just being funny or just really just saying what they see in terms of, oh, this country is so hard, things are so difficult, the economy is crashing, etc. And in the Spirit, they're speaking doubt, speaking not enough, speaking different things. Because the Bible is telling us here that if you're speaking in tongues, in the Spirit, you're speaking mysteries and you're speaking unto God. So I guess my real question is, what are you saying in the Spirit when you're not speaking in tongues? And probably the advice here is to speak in tongues more often. I think of a story of Daniel. Maybe not Daniel, but Belteshazzar. I don't know. There was a king in Daniel chapter 5. Let me read it real quick. Daniel chapter 5. I think it's Belshazzar or something like this. They had just really interesting names. Yeah, Belshazzar. Now, Belshazzar, he was a king and he made a feast. He invited people, hey, come and dine with me and let's have a good time. And then he decided to bring the vessels of the house of the Lord and the cups and the items of gold, etc., for his lords to drink wine in them. And while they were doing that, in the physical, they were having a nice time. They were enjoying, they were displaying abundance, etc. In the physical, he suddenly got a glimpse into the spiritual and he saw a hand of a man writing on the wall. And by the time he got the interpretation of that, it meant that he had been weighed and in the balances and he had been found wanting, that God had measured his kingdom and had finished it, things like that. So what it seems to me is that in the physical, he was speaking, oh, let's have a nice time, abundance, everything, let's have a party, But in the spiritual, he was speaking, now my cup is full. And he was saying something entirely different in the Spirit by his actions in the physical, of course. The point of making this video is to kind of awaken people to what are you saying in the Spirit? What are you saying beyond what you're really saying physically? Are you saying doubts in a joke? Are you cracking a joke that, I don't tire as in mogbe, I don't just say kind of slangs, but basically I'm just using common phrases that people use when they face a challenge or they're just trying to be funny. But maybe in the Spirit, you're really saying something deeper. And I don't think there's so much of jokes spiritually, And let me think. Paul was saying that every voice there are so many voices in the world, and none of them is without a significance, that each of them is significant. So people are always saying something, and I believe we should be very mindful of what we're saying, but physically and spiritually, and generally just pray in tongues more.